Wikipedia.com says that the tale of Remedy Entertainment's origin is brief and under a paragraph. Originating from the demo scene group, from the start, these Finnish lads were known to always be pushing the boundaries of tech. After their first release of Death Rally, again that's fucking mega gay, the team had plans of either reiterating with another racer, a space RTS, or an isometric shooter with a grimy dick noir aesthetic to it. You can guess what they did. The years went by and the project was slowly shaping up into something. The game first went under the title Max Heat, which totally doesn't sound like a trashy porno, you guys.
Oh, baby!
Max Heat and Laura Northern in Max Heat 7.
It was setting itself up to be the best third-person shoot boy out on the market at the time. Not only in terms of the gameplay, but in the presentation and the story. Written by one dude going by the name of Samuel Bob Lakerson. They also realized the title was fucking ass and changed it to a really amazeballs yet still equally retarded one. I didn't write that in. And finally, releasing in 2001, Max Payne was praised for being a good game. But why good? And more importantly, is it good now? Also, my friend said he was gonna buy me a copy of Book of the Law if I referred to the game as Max Gape from here on out, so strap your seatbelts and email me if you want to apply for writing better intros.
Internet porno.
No! Max Gape controls like your generic third boy shoot pre-2007. It remarkably holds up extremely well except for the forced platforming segments that just really needed to be in there, really just, yeah. You have the option to either strafe or roll sideways in and out of cover during gunfights. But of course, these two options are rendered completely useless when you possess the inexplicable ability to fuck with time and shoot dodge with some smoking sick style at a press of a button. This little mechanic alongside the release of The Matrix was what effectively solidified this game into meme status perpetually. Gunplay is a little different than what you expect. You see, bullets in this game travel a lot slower than usual. This was an intentional decision on the dev's part to not only have an excuse to render the bullets for that extra bit of spectacle, but to also provide a small window to be able to dodge the oncoming gunfire if the player possessed enough skill. You can play the whole game without ever resorting to the slow-mo, and you'll still be able to avoid every bullet shot at you. But, as we all know, that's fucking mega gay. This also means that you always have to be leading your shots if you want them to land anywhere near the asshole you're shooting. It's kinda jarring in the first run, but you get used to it after the third or fourth gunfight. Speaking of guns, there's a lot of them. So how about we talk about them for a bit. There's a doggy barking. Ever just wanted to like shoot a dog point blank with a shotgun in slow-mo bullet time while shoot dodging? You have the trademark iconic Berettas as your starter weapon, which you can either wield with one hand or both. This akimbo style also applies to the Deagle and the MAC-10s. Oh wait, I'm sorry, it says here it's called Angos. Sorry. There's also the shotgun that comes in the sawed-off and double barrel form, which are utter putrid garbage. Later on, you get your hands on the big dick guns like the M16 assault rifle, the jackhammer shotgun, and the sniper rifle that comes with its own bullet camera. All of which are just
very nice.
Lastly, there's the grenades and molotovs, both of which are pretty good but have the throwing arc of a brick. Gunfights themselves and how they play out is a bit hard to put into words. The game is from an age when you didn't have to make sweet, sensual love to a chest-high wall in order to survive and win, meaning that gunfights are abrasive and in your face and so fucking fast. Mr. Gape, being the schmuck cuck that he is, won't be able to eat a couple of bullets without dying shortly after. Shootouts require you to be on your gout-infested feet at all times. It's essential that you resort to safe scumming unless you like getting your shit pushed in real deep style. However, there is a way to recover from all the shotgun blasts to the cock, thanks to the addition of Senor Gabe's severe opium addiction. The painkillers don't work like your traditional health packs, however. These heal you over time. So naturally, using them in between gunfights instead of in the middle of them would be ideal. Aside from that, I'd also heavily recommend only using the witch time when jumping into cover, since by the time Gabe wakes up and picks himself up from the floor, you're gonna end up resembling a fucking bullet pound cake. You should also check every cabinet you come across to stock up on pills and ammo for the more OP weapons. They don't just hand these over to you. There's a select few cheaply placed enemies that will most likely catch you off guard and anally devastate you and cut your run short on the first time playing. Near the end, you'll be hurled across room after room loaded with enemies, making it almost impossible to come out at every gunfight without a limp. I'm just gonna rip off a little page from Ray6's video and pretend that I came up with the analogy, but the game does feel like a third-person Hotline Miami. Your planning, reflexes, and aiming will be tested and pushed to its limits, at least if you're not a big gay and playing on easy baby mode. There's just something so unique about the spectacle the game provides with the simple yet stylish mechanics. Diving in and out of cover, sometimes clearing a room full of goons with just one single leap, downing a bottle's worth of pills and immediately barging into the next room, repeating it over and over again. And it just amazes me how it never gets boring, unlike some other games.
Internet porno.
With the presentation, Remedy took inspiration from a variety of sources, tossed it all into a melting pot, and somehow made it fucking work. The emulation of the gritty noir storytelling coming from both the narration of the Gaper and the comic book style cutscenes give it a campy C-grade Frank Miller vibe that just works perfectly. The good kind of Snake Eater camp and not the almost cringeworthy Suda51 kind. The game is shut up to the gates of camp heaven itself, all thanks to Bob Lake's half perpetually smug shit-eating grin and half carrot shoved up ass. Face.
Narrow your mouth, lift your cheeks up, squint your eyes, arch your eyebrows.
Gaptimus Prime's narrations are glazed and try-hard flavored age in some parts that pierce my charcoal nigger heart.
Gagniti ran out of steam in a dead-end alley with steam boiling out of the sewer grates like all the fires of hell were burning high beneath us. It was shakedown time.
The gunfights take inspiration from the great John Woo films like Hard Boiled and Face Off. The former one even receiving its own game that took a lot of cues from this one. The amount of particles flying around in some of the smaller rooms still look okay, but for 2001 it must have been pre-cum inducing. Still couldn't beat 9/11 though, haha. The obvious Matrix comparison can be spotted with the opium-induced slow motion, and the executions you sometimes come across with the cinematic camera spinning around the enemy as his soul drudges out of his no longer useful corpse. Models and geometry are pretty shite, even for 2001 standards, but the use of photorealistic textures make it seem just a bit better to swallow. However, even with most of its merits, one of the most jarring things that stood out to me was the tonal whiplash you can get sometimes. With the game opening up with the whole family getting butchered and having multiple angles of your months-old daughter's bloody corpse, you'd expect you were in for a cock-ripping rough ride. But then, when you get to the fuck hotel stage where you come across porn tapes, pee-pee sucking, and brutally murdering everyone in your path, even the junkies, and then you come to realize all the goons are these ridiculously cartoony, over-the-top Italian mob stereotypes that just remind you of how fucking stupid this whole game is. Also, even with all the fucked up shit I've mentioned above, no one is really allowed to swear in the game, so there's plenty of Dan freaking freak butts thrown all over the place.
And now, an all-new episode of Lords and Ladies, brought to you in part by Acer Corporation.
My lady.
My lord?
My lady, there is a matter of great importance I must bring to your attention.
My lord, there is?
Indeed, my lady, there is indeed. From the very first moment we met, upon that distant forest path, there has been sunlight in the autumn leaves blazing like the colors of your hair.
Oh, my lord, you should not speak so.
But, my lady, I must.
My lord, no! I forbid you. This cannot be. This must not be.
But why, my love, why?
My lord, it is too dreadful. Do not force me to speak the words.
My lady, I beg of you, I must know. I would rather die than not know.
Yes, my lord, we should both be dead, for this shame is too great for the living. My lord, I am your long-lost sister.
In sum, if we were to go back at the beginning of this video to remind ourselves of the trivial question I asked, my response would ultimately come down to
yes.
All honestly though, this game has easily become one of my new favorites. On top of the game itself just being a solid and unique shooter you can't really experience anywhere else, the game's gripping story that contrasts with the goofy characters is one that'll definitely stick with you. The stupid faces Gape makes throughout the game and the bevy of quotes present in this title and its sequel are just a fountless of endless shitposting material.
I would fuck her.
After going through and playing the other two games in the trilogy, this is probably my favorite one. I've since gone back and beat it on the hardest difficulty twice on both the PC and PS2 version. The game still holds up, and it probably will for many years to come. Jesus Christ, it's probably one of the worst, fucking blandest outros I've ever written.